preseason idea of who's going to be in the Super Bowl. Good morning,
You know what's funny?
everybody. Good morning. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 443 of the Dum Yinzers. How you guys doing this morning? Yeah,
Aw.
Darby, go ahead.
I was just thinking, you know what's funny is that the Bears have the Panthers pick.
Yeah. They pick right now. They're picking like 1-4 or something like that. Yeah, Bears are sitting pretty.
How you doing, Mike?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. I'm just happy to be here today.
Blew through the week.
It did, man. I didn't
Yeah,
realize today was Friday. I'm like, oh my god, today's Friday.
it did. It went rather quick this week. I got to admit. I don't know if you guys watched it or not, but the Tiffany Gomez interview.
Oh, you were all ready for this yet?
Well,
He
Yesterday.
was ready for it. I didn't watch it.
I was ready. I was expecting a little bit more. It was literally it was on the guy, I can't think of his name, Waters, I think is his name, but he did his whole show, and then like the last segment was the Tiffany Gomez interview. And and literally I looked at the clock and it said 8:53, and it hadn't even come back from commercial yet. So I thought,
Yeah.
oh, this isn't even gonna be any good. But she was on, she looked good. She was not very revealing at all. It was almost like somebody is telling her not to say something because he asked her what happened and everything. He was like, oh, she's like, I admit I had an altercation with somebody on the plane, blah blah blah. But then later on in the interview, Waters says to Tiffany Gomez, he said to her, well, what did you see? And she goes, well, I'm not allowed to talk about that. So I'm not I don't know what to make of it. And again, it was such a compact segment of the show. Um I don't know. I was expecting to get a little bit more out of her, you know?
Yeah, because I know she did an interview before that. She did one with oh god, the guys from two of the guys that work with Barstools, Big Cat and PFT commentator. She had like the same thing. Oh, it was like an altercation with someone and blah blah blah, and like kind of like the same thing. Oh, I really can't answer that. So yeah, I think she probably has like someone telling her, hey, this is what you can say, this is what you can't say.
Well, like, I mean, what did she I mean, if it's nothing, then what's the
Yeah.
problem? Why can't she talk about,
Who knows? Who maybe she has like a book deal coming out. Who knows?
you know,
That you Sealer freak. Thank you, man. My new glasses are just they are killer, man.
I'm telling you, one of these days you're gonna turn on Skiller Freak. He's gonna have glasses on. I just don't know what he's trying to pull here.
I
I,
don't
I
have glasses.
but yeah, this Tiffany Gomez. This is the airplane lady, the lady that thought that the person was a shapeshifter on the airplane. And again, like I said, it was roughly about a 6 minute interview. It was a lot left to be desired. But she did again have that same kind of shirt on. She's a tight wearing, big breasted woman. That's what I tuned in for. Unfortunately, she didn't expose her breasts, but you know, whatever.
You're wild.
But she's a good looking girl. She really is. The video from the airplane doesn't do much justice. Like her hair's grown a little bit since
Yeah.
July, since the incident happened, and I don't know. I dig her.
I I'm not
I
digging
dig.
my lighting right now. I can tell you that.
I do her.
You were dating an AI at one
I
point
was
on the
yes,
show.
I was dating an
So
AI,
okay, let's go throw that out there.
and I did do the AI too. Remember?
You did. You did. Yeah, I wasn't gonna call you out on that one. I was gonna
Yeah.
say the dating part.
So
Oh shit.
on that note, can we just go home?
Can we? Great show, everyone. See you guys next week.
No, I didn't see entirely what he had said. But one headline that I see multiple times, if anybody could fill me in on what his explanation was, I did see this interview or this headline twice yesterday. Hines Ward knows what it will take for the Steelers to get back to winning Super Bowls. And the reason the reason that I flew past this article two times, as a matter of fact, twice, and didn't go into it is because Hines Ward couldn't figure out how to win any football games in the XFL.
You know what? You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're
So I
you're not
mean,
wrong.
did anybody
Fair
actually go
point.
into this and read into it at all? Because
I did not know. I didn't even see that headline to be honest with you.
Mm.
Other than like, not sound like a Pickett hater, but to get a franchise quarterback, that's what they need. Thank you,
Yeah.
bud. Get a franchise quarterback, get a franchise center. Uh, you know,
Right.
and
Again,
improve your
people don't
secondary.
remember. People
There's
don't know
three
how
things
lucky
right
we
there.
were for 20 years, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. It's gonna,
Right.
and that's the answer. Every single talking head's got a different answer and a different this and this and that. But at the end of the day, that's what it is. You have to figure out some way to get yourself a franchise quarterback in this league. Otherwise, you're not going to be
Yeah.
able to compete. It's bottom line. It doesn't get any more plain and simple than that. We're giving you the truth, the answers, the light, the way, whenever everybody else is giving you a bunch of bullshit. It's the bottom line. You have to figure out how to get that franchise. What happened for the past 20 years? We had a franchise quarterback. What happened for
Yeah.
the past 20 years? We were a pretty damn good team.
And before that, from when Bradshaw from what 79 till Big Ben came
04.
around, it was like a rotating carousel of quarterbacks
And
and
guess what?
this is
We
what
didn't
we
win any
see.
Super Bowls in that period of time.
No,
And look at all the teams who did. It was the
Yeah.
teams that had these quarterbacks.
And we got close with Neil O'Donnell because he wasn't a bad quarterback. He had a good supporting cast, had a damn good defense with him too. But look, they played the Cowboys. They had Troy Aikman, franchise quarterback, surrounded by a damn good defense and Hall of Fame weapons around him.
That was one of the better NFL teams ever built. That 95 Dallas Cowboys football team.
And people argue that you look at Troy Aikman's numbers, even for that era, they're not eye popping. He was just on a damn good.
He didn't play a long like some of these guys.
Career either.
No, he didn't have a long career. But while he was here, he managed to turn an 0-16 team into a 3 out of 4 year winning Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
And after that, he left. So I mean,
more power to him, man.
Yeah.
I'm not hating on the guy.
But Derpy's chirping again. Yes, he is. Skiller for good morning, sir.
Derpy,
why don't you say something for the people? Here's the thing, Derpy. Sometimes you get, and I feel bad. I sit back and I think about these things. I'm not a monster. And I think to myself, you know what? The poor Derpy. Derpy, I'm going to put you on the spot. You say something that's something meaningful and useful about a Pittsburgh sports team, and the show is yours, man. I'll give you a little stage here. Go ahead, man.
The Pens won.
The Pens did win.
The Pens did win.
Yes. Oh, I see what you're saying. So Derpy's chirping, like he's really chirping.
Yeah, his
Did you hear him chirp? I haven't heard him.
I'm hearing the chirp. I'm hearing the
I'm mildly retarded though, so don't go by me. You've heard the chirp, Mike?
I've heard the chirp.
There's the derp chirp.
There's the derpy chirp. We might have to Derpy. We got to do something about the smoke detector, bud.
I'm about to send him one of the little square batteries. 9 volts is what I'm about to do.
Once you stick your tongue in between.
Yes.
Just to see if you feel alive anymore.
No, Stiller Freak, it is not his smoke detector. That's the sound that literally comes out of Derpy's face.
That's my pacemaker going off.
Yeah.
It's me about to destroy all the lighting in my studio.
Speaking of franchise quarterbacks for the Steelers, did you see this one yesterday? There was a little talk about Kyler Murray. They said,
where'd that come from?
I don't know, but would you switch out Kenny Pickett for Kyler Murray?
No.
I don't think I would.
No, I'm just not sold on Kyler Murray at all.
If you would have asked me this 2 seasons ago, I would have said yes.
Yeah, because
I would give him a shot.
But
it's too much money, though.
It's too much money. He can't stay healthy. He really has proven nothing. I mean, granted, he's been on the Arizona Cardinals football team, but I just don't know if that's the step in the right direction. I don't know if that's it's a move, but would that be the right move? Would that be the move that again, we want to win. People in this town want to win, and if you make a move, you're going to want it to be an effective move. And I just don't know if that's going to be the move that people in Pittsburgh want to see.
Yeah, I'm looking at his best year might have been 2021. He completed 69% of his passes, 24 touchdowns, 10 picks.
Yeah. Wait, 20. That's what I'm saying. 2 years ago, I would have did it. I was
2 years ago. Yeah.
Give me Kyler Murray.
Yeah. His going back through his years, his touchdowns to interception ratios. His rookie year, 2019, 20 touchdowns, 12 picks, 26 12 the next year, 24-10 the year after. Last year in 11 games, 14 touchdowns, 7 picks. So it's coming down. His completion percentage, like I said, his best year was 2021. His first 4 years in the league, he was over 3,500 yards. He almost had 4,000 yards in 2020, but he played 14 games in 2021, 11 games in 2022. Hasn't been active at all this year, so that durability.
Oh,
He's adding 23 touchdowns in his career running, so he's a threat there. But overall, I don't know. I'm not sold on it. But
once you
like you said, man, he played on those bad Arizona teams, and he's putting up pretty good numbers. But
here's the thing
for
about
that
these
money,
athletic quarterbacks. Once you figure them out,
yeah,
there's not really much room for them to grow. They come in with this ability, this athletic ability. Let's just say they can throw. Let's say they can throw, pretty good. Once you figure them out, and in fact, and a lot of teams do with, I mean, some teams do with Lamar, some teams do with, other teams around the league. But, athleticism is something that you really can't work on and become greater at. Say you're in the NFL, you bring a certain athleticism with you. But once you get shut down, then you're forced to be a pocket passer. At the end of the day, are you a good pocket passer is what it comes down to. Yes, your legs are always going to be valuable for you, but at the end of the day, you're going to want to figure out ways to win consistently. And again, Lamar Jackson, who was an MVP, sometimes he still has those days. So you have to be an elite athletic quarterback. I just don't think a guy like him is the answer. Let me ask you this though, Mike. Pre 2021 draft, would you have traded your number 20 pick overall for Kyler Murray if that was an option?
I would have.
Would
At
you,
that point,
not knowing
at that,
anything, you don't know anything about who we would have picked, nothing like this?
because I wasn't sold.
I would.
I wasn't sold on any of those quarterbacks coming out of the draft. So yeah, I would have made that trade, and if he would have stayed healthy, 69% of his passes completed that year. That's impressive, especially on that bad team. Yeah, but that's when the wheels started to fall off, was that year, and then 2022. But if you get him out of that environment in Arizona, would he regressed, or would he have gotten better?
Yeah.
Would he take that? Because we're seeing like Lamar Jackson now, the way he's completing passes of like what 70% passing
He
percentage
needs
right
to.
now. He's
Otherwise,
getting better.
otherwise his legs fail him because that's
Yeah,
all he becomes, and that's what you
yeah,
prepare. You
and we're
learn these
seeing like
things.
Lamar becoming a much better pocket passer. Like
That's the best thing
he
that
figured
Lamar
it out.
Jackson could actually ever do is learn and keep working on being a
Yeah.
better passer.
And I think he did this offseason. And can Kyler Murray do that? Can he show that dedication? And you hear rumors coming out of there. Oh, he's more concerned about playing video games, more concerned about streaming. Is that just a meme? Is there
Right.
a little truth there? Or is that just perception is reality type thing? But so if he would be in a better situation, he might be a better quarterback. But that salary, man, that his guaranteed money in his contract is just too much. Oh, here we go. Question from Steeler Freak. What about using draft capital and Highsmith, Pickens, and Muth and shooting for a top 5 quarterback in the draft?
I think
That's
it's
a lot
way
to give
too
up.
much. Yeah. I mean,
Like, I
don't get
would
me wrong.
like
I would
a
like to
first.
I would like to make a big splash high move like this high,
Yeah,
but you know what I mean? That's a lot. You're giving up a lot. You're giving up
yeah.
this is your tight end for the next 10 years. Pickens will probably be gone after his
You
first
see, I would,
draft
I'd
or
trade.
after his first
You're one
contract.
in Pickens.
And
Move up
Highsmith, I
maybe.
think he's going to be up and down, kind of like Bud Dupree is. Bud Dupree was, depending on if TJ Watt is healthy and stays healthy. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot in that what you had just said. I don't know if I would do that, but the thing about a top 5, you just don't know if they're going to pan out. You just never
Yeah,
know. I mean, look how many Danny Werfels and Brady Quinns and these Heisman quarterbacks over the years that get to the NFL and they just shit out the bit. Tim Tebow wins back-to-back national championships. The guy couldn't throw a football in the pros. So
but
again, that's why I always use the term "a lightning in a bottle" because that's what it really is. It's so hard to get that guy, and people in Pittsburgh don't realize how lucky we were to be able to get Big Ben. They don't have any idea.
oh, okay. All of them just on the menu using draft. Okay. That I want to trade all 3 of them, but like one in a pick. Yeah,
Oh yeah, no, that I
yeah.
would do.
But like Caleb Williams coming into the season, I thought he would be the guy, but watching him play this year, I don't know if he's going to be that guy. Drake Maine, he's and coming out of North Carolina.
Well, Caleb Williams ain't going to go anywhere unless he wants to go there. So I mean,
Yeah,
he's not coming here. He
yeah.
doesn't
And
want to go to Pittsburgh. He'll go
Drake Maine,
back
I'm
to
not sold
college.
on. Michael Penix Jr. might be the one, but is he a first rounder? I don't
Nobody
know.
in this draft standing out to me as far as a quarterback.
Yeah.
But we have a
There's no
quarterback for
CJ
the next
Strouds,
2
I tell you
seasons.
that.
So I
Hey,
mean,
man,
we
we
are
have Kenny. We
we're
have
at
Kenny
where
for
we're
the
at.
next what
At least 2 more years.
Two more
3 2.
years, and they'll
Yeah.
probably do the 5th-year option on them. So we have another 3 years.
You know, we're in the middle of a project right now. Whether we like it, whether we don't, I think this was going to be the case no matter who we got. And unless, like I said, you get that lightning in a bottle guy that just totally turns the league upside down.
Yeah.
I do want to go back, which you guys were talking about just a moment ago. Lamar Jackson. Let's talk in 6 weeks about him, because again, they are starting to face the tough teams in their schedule. They're facing the teams that the Steelers faced early in the schedule. We're getting the teams that they faced early in the schedule now. So we're gonna get a good idea of this Baltimore Ravens and this Lamar Jackson. They have a lot of good games. They have 2 Ohio games in a row, a couple of LA games, and then all the games after that are tough. I know that they have San Francisco, they have Jacksonville, they have us. So I really say hold off on your Lamar opinions just yet. And we do know that he does play us the last week of the season. So does that mean he's going to get hurt and maybe not be available for week 17 or 18, whatever it is? I don't know, because that seems to be the case with him every year. It's either a bad game or he just doesn't make it to the Steeler game. So it's going to be interesting to watch Mr. Jackson.
Because we're the only team that can figure him out, because, divisional opponent.
Absolutely. We're built to beat
That's
him.
just wild. It's just wild. The dude, he'll ball out all year, then comes to play Pittsburgh, and it's just a struggle fest.
We're built.
I'm okay with that, though, because I thought, like you said, when he was drafted by Baltimore, you're thinking, oh, God, for the next 10 years, this guy's going to be a thorn in our side.
Yeah.
So if we can contain him and then maybe contain Burrows, well, I'll be comfortable this year.
But even so, Steeler freak, Will Levis was meant to be higher. I mean, he was. You sat there and watched him drop it like I did at the draft, and I was real surprised. It's tough. It's listen, if this was easy, every team would have a great franchise quarterback. Every team would be winning the Super Bowl every year. The reality is that's not the case. One team gets to win. And as I tell Mike every time this conversation comes up, there's about 6 to 8 of these quarterbacks that actually exist on the planet. And we were lucky enough to have one of them for almost 20 years. So we're in the middle of something.
I want another one. I am fat and I am spoiled.
Yeah. And we are as the American comes, and we want one. But you know what? It's tough to say, because again, from Bradshaw to Ben, we wanted one for a long time before that happened.
Right.
And, we just got used to it, I guess. You get used to reality, where people aren't quite used to reality just yet. And that it'd be what it'd be, man.
I don't know. I would be happy. I don't know what I'd be happy with a quarterback right now.
Oh, yeah, you do. Mike, yesterday I did give you an interesting stat about Jalen Warren's running.
Steeler freak. Me, you
I
and
do
Ryan
have
are
one
old.
more interesting stat about Jalen Warren's running. Like, check this out. He has a 0.32 missed tackles forced per attempt this season. That's first among all running backs in the NFL with a minimum of 50 carries. So when you see him bouncing off of people like a bowling ball, that's the real deal, man. He does it better than everybody. Nobody gets missed tackles forced per attempt better than him.
I love it. And you can see it just in the way he runs. Like you said, people bounce off of him. He's a built, jacked little dude, man.
Yeah.
The bowling ball out there. He's a cannonball. Where's he
AFC North, Mike. Again, as we know, last week
he's only 5'8",
yes.
215. He looks thicker than that.
He's like Barry Sanders with muscles. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like a bowling ball.
Yeah.
You get that little guy, he's so hard to take down. AFC North, Mike, we know they were 4-0 this week. That's the third time in 4 weeks that the AFC North has gone unbeaten. 3 times in the last 4 weeks. And in that time period, the teams altogether are 12-2. So they only took this division took 2 losses in the last 4 weeks, Mike.
Tough division, man. Tough
How
division.
Can you deny that?
Unfortunately, it's not going to happen again this week. You got the old Browns and the new Browns playing each other.
Yeah. Who's Cincinnati got? I forget.
Texans, because I picked Houston in the upset.
That should be a good game. But every game this week should be a good game. That's AFC North.
It should be. Like this Green Bay Steeler game, I was thinking about this. I don't know if we're going to get to it, but my God.
We're transitioning into it right now. You couldn't have done a better job.
This is why, I don't show up to the production meetings. I like to wing it.
Derpy, we just send him messages through his
yeah, we just let him know.
Through his fire,
the 49ers did make a quick turnaround, man. They caught lightning in a bottle.
But you
Like
know
a genie in a bottle. Me and Christina.
they've been expecting to be good for a few seasons. You know what I mean? I think a couple years ago when we had the Raptors on, we were talking to Prime. I mean, he was filling us in on San Francisco when I wasn't even really aware what was going on out there with the Debo, Samuel, um, and that's a good team. I tell you what, I'm going to be curious to see if they're going to lose 4 games in a row, Mike.
Yeah, they
They have
have. I
somebody
forget.
good, and I can't think of. I don't know.
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And there's a chance that this team loses every game in a month period. And that's crazy because a month ago I was saying that this team was a shoo-in for the Super Bowl.
I think they still might be. That team is too talented not to turn it around.
You know, if Philadelphia doesn't get the back end help from the referees, I mean, it's anybody's game in the NFC. I think
That's true. That is true, man. The Roughs love Philadelphia.
I don't get it. Nobody loves Philadelphia. Nobody.
No one. It's Philadelphia, baby. So the
But
wrong part of the state.
Derby, let me start with you. What do you think is a key or two to winning this game against Green Bay on Sunday?
Run game.
Got to be able to run. I couldn't agree more, Mike. What do you think? What's a key to being able to win this game on Sunday?
I hate to copy Derby, but that run game, because AJ Dillon was starting to get it going last week. You know, he's been struggling this year. He's another damn good running back, but he's been struggling all year. But he had a nice little bounce back game last week and stopping the run because my God, like both these quarterbacks, they will do stuff that would go, oh, that's why they were taken in the first round. But then they will have stuff going like, this is why their fan bases get frustrated with them. So the key is going to be both run games, getting them going. That maybe that will open up the passing game for one of the teams. So if we can shut them down, make them one dimensional, I want Jordan Love to beat me. I don't want AJ Dillon to beat me.
What's their run defense like? We can be able to run the ball against these guys.
We should be able to.
I mean,
I
Green
can't
Bay. You don't
find
hear many amazing things coming out of this team, let alone
I can't find the stats on that. Their run defense. Let me go take a
Stiller
look.
Freak
See
on the
here.
board says 49ers and Bills podcast are in a Chernobyl status right now. Who do you think Steeler Freak and guys on the panel? Who do you think should be more in panic mode right now? San Francisco or Buffalo?
Oh, Buffalo. I would be Buffalo because they
Buffalo.
have just been going down, down, down.
Their window.
It does
Of
seem like that
competing.
Buffalo window is closing. I mean, they went from a top team over the past couple seasons. Now they're mid tier at best. They're lucky to win some of these games that they're even winning. They're losing games that they should be winning. And San Fran, as I said, even if they do lose this week to Jacksonville, which is a good chance because one team's playing really good, the other team is not. I'm still not worried about San Francisco. They have a really good team, and it makes you think, okay, maybe when they get a little closer to the playoffs, things will start coming together and they'll be playing good football. I hardly think that San Fran's going to go into the playoffs and lose in the first round.
Yeah, Packers are 18th in run defense. Steelers are 24th.
Okay.
So yeah, we kind of got to get that under control.
I think about our numbers. A lot of times they're insignificant because here we are
We give up a
20,
lot of yards, but
we don't end up
point
giving up a
wise,
lot of points. We bend, we don't break, which has always been in my lifetime a thing for the Steelers. Here we are 24 or whatever to say whatever we are 24. But when it comes down to it, this defense, they make the plays in the game that like I said, we have a handful of good plays every game that we have in our pocket to our disposal. And it's a very odd team. This is a very bizarre team right now. That's the best way I can explain it. And I say just try to enjoy it and then let's get as many wins as we can. Steeler Freak, I see, agrees also. He says Buffalo. I think that yes, they're the team that needs to worry. And what is it? Is it these defensive injuries? What's going on? What's up with Buffalo? Anybody tell me? Is it? I know they have a lot of defensive injuries, but at some point, having a top tier quarterback and some other good players that goes a long way.
yeah, I don't know what's going on with Buffalo, to be honest with you. We've been talking about this on air and off air for the past couple of weeks. I have no idea. I can't figure out what's going on. Like Josh Allen is not playing the way we thought he would play. That I don't think they have a really good running game. They didn't before Josh Allen was their running game. This team is just falling apart. Like literally, they just can't do anything right.
That's a shame.
I take that back. James Cook's having a pretty good year. Pretty good year. He's on pace for 1,000 yards. But still, it's Josh Allen. He has 6 rushing touchdowns. The team has 10. And he's still completing at a pretty good percentage, but overall they're just not that good this year.
Now that they stink, I'm kind of like, oh, poor Buffalo. But remember last year I hated them because
Yeah.
the Bills Mafia and this and then they were just they were annoying me.
They are.
But now
They're
that they
annoying.
stink again, I'm like, oh, all right.
Like
I
their
like
defense
Buffalo.
isn't bad. They've only allowed 160 points this year. That's pretty good throughout the league.
Read what Steeler Freak is saying, Mike, on the board. His last comment: the Bills players demanded an offense
Ooh,
private meeting
I
this
didn't see
week.
that. That's not good at all.
That's not good at all. But again, very informative. Thank you.
Thanks, Steeler Freak.
Interesting.
Appreciate it.
Interesting, because I often wonder what's going on with this Buffalo team.
Yeah, because they've been good for pretty elite for the past 3 seasons.
I thought for sure they would be one of these teams that
Yeah.
they don't have that look this year that they did.
Mm-mm.
And you know what? If it keeps going this way, they might as well just give us Allen, and we should all go on with our business.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
We'll
And
send,
under, yes.
we'll send Chooks over and Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, just like Dotson and Kendrick Green, I'm sure they'll turn into all pros if we do send
Kendrick
Chooks
Green's
over.
hurt, so but
Yeah. But wasn't he one of the best linemen in
nah,
preseason?
he was
Crazy.
he was
There
playing
was
pretty
something.
well.
There was something about him.
Playing pretty well.
Over and under, yes. Because we do have a game this weekend, guys. We are ready to do over and under, and I'll try my best not to belch, but you know what? I can't do any promising there. First over and under, guys. Kenny Pickett, 1.5 touchdowns thrown. 1.5 touchdowns thrown. Mike, let's start with you.
Under Green Bay has a pretty good pass defense. I think they're like top 5 in the league or within the top 10.
Derby, what do you think? Kenny Pickett, 1.5 touchdowns thrown.
Over.
Okay.
Oh, I like it, Derpy.
Derby keeps it interesting.
He does. Derpy's very positive with this team, and I appreciate that because I'm rather negative.
I like it. I do. Because everybody right now is negative, and they all think they're the only persons being negative, and that's what's really annoying about it. Like everybody says this, and it's like everybody's literally saying what you're saying.
I've been negative from the beginning. Okay, I'm the most negative bleed black and gold fan you will ever meet.
All right.
Steeler Freak said if it's an 8-quarter game. Kenny, what the hell is that? Bill Murray movie, the bowling one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Amish guy. He's like, oh yeah, I bowl like a 280. Well, I bowl, I bowl 16 frames or some shit. Got to do twice as hard.
Kingpin.
The English. Yeah, Kingpin. Yeah. Kenny needs to play 8 quarters a game to get his numbers up.
Which they did a couple iconic scenes about a quarter mile from here, if you're familiar with the area.
Until that building caught on fire.
Until the building had a chemical fire and it whited out the whole county. I've never seen anything like it. I was at work where I was working at the time, was right next to that place.
Yeah.
And people were coming in and that white smoke was just billowing in the work, and it was just such a fucking disaster. Derpy, or let's start with Derpy on this one. Derpy, George Pickens. Now we're still doing over unders. George Pickens, 3.5 catches, 3.5 receptions for George Pickens. Derpy, what do you think? Over or under? I think you consider everything that's going on lately. He did his share of crying. Now we're gonna get the pendulum to swing back to Pickens. What do you think?
Over.
All right, Mike, back to you. Do you think that George Pickens is going to get more or less than 3.5 catches this week?
I'm going to go the over. Look for a ton of back shoulder throws to him just to get him going.
I like that. I like those back shoulder because they're so good at them. Pickens and Pickett and DJ. And
it's like one of the harder ones to make in the league because you have to have everything go right with it, and they can make it.
And that's the one path that we do better than anything. I don't get it. We can't do a simple slant over the middle to save our lives. Like think of the Tom Brady to Wes Welker, the little bang 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 plays. We haven't done one of them yet this year. I don't think. I think we did one to Allen Robinson, but that was it.
Like back shoulder and like the corner routes between splitting the corner and the safety. We can hit those. Makes no sense.
Mike.
Yes.
To you, over under. Deontay Johnson, 0.5 touchdown.
I'm taking the over. Back-to-back weeks, baby. Back-to-back weeks, he's getting touchdowns.
All right. Derpy. Over to you, my little canine friend.
Arr.
Deontay Johnson, a half a touchdown. Is that you going over or under?
Under.
Under.
Hater.
That's all right.
Hater. Hater, Derpy. You're a hater.
Mike. TJ Watt. TJ Watt, half sack. You never know if I'm calling you that or if I'm asking the question.
Yeah, I know, asshole. I'm gonna take the over.
You think the TJ's going to at least get a sack, huh?
Yeah, I think he's gonna get a sack. He's gonna do something this game.
Derpy. TJ Watt, half sack. You think he could get a sack or no?
Over.
Over. All right. Here's my favorite. And this is, you know why this is my favorite? Because we didn't get to do this once last year, I don't think. At least not on an over. Mike, I'm going to come back to you. Steelers defense, 1.5 turnovers caused. We're causing a lot of turnovers.
We are
this
causing
year.
a lot. I'm gonna go with the over.
Going to go with more than 1.5.
More than 1.5.
Derpy, what about you? 1.5
Over.
turn. You go with over? All right, good deal. I always got to throw my man in there, Chris Bause. He 1.5 field goals, Derpy. 1.5 field goals over under for Bause.
You say 1.5?
Yes.
Under.
All right. Mike, same question.
I'm taking the over.
Okay. And finally, my least favorite question of the week, but we've stuck with it, so we're going to do it again. Mike, devastating injury, an injury that, that we're going to lose a significant player for a significant amount of time, such as with Cam, with Muth, with DJ, with Minka. Any injury like this, 1/2 of a devastating injury, Mike, 1/2 of a devastating injury, over or under?
I'm taking the under.
Okay. Just because it's not because it's what you want to see, or I mean, obviously we don't want to lose anybody, but do you really feel we'll get through this game healthy?
I think so. We're due. We're due.
We're due for a healthy game.
We're due for a healthy game where no one gets hurt.
Derby, I'm going to come over to you with that same question. Over or under a half of devastating injury? And you know, we do, as we always describe the devastating injury. You think we're going to have one or no?
I'm just not going to respond to any of that. So hopefully under.
All right. And Super Freak, Steeler Freak on the border says the same thing. He says under. Let's hope you guys are correct. Again, guys, we do play the Green Bay Packers 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon at Acrisure Stadium here in lovely Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Some outside of the Steelers news. Fox came out with their mid-season report card yesterday, which I pay very little attention to, but I'm just going to throw a couple things out there to see what you guys think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
CJ Stroud, Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
Yes, 100%.
far.
Is there anybody outside of that
No.
I mean, Poo or whatever his name is over in L.A.
Puka Nacua.
Puka Nacua. I mean, you can't throw him off the shelf just yet, but I mean, legitimately, CJ Stroud, I think, is leading the way. The guy has many touchdowns, 1 interception. But at the end of the day, if he comes down to Puka Nacua, and CJ Stroud, who are you picking?
CJ Stroud, just because it's quarterback's going to win out. It's the more important position, and what he's been able to do as a rookie quarterback, it's very impressive. Like you said, only 1 turnover, 14 touchdowns. That's impressive.
It's very impressive. Again,
but I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't be upset if Puka wins it too. If they both keep going the way they are,
there's a handful of these rookies that are doing some pretty amazing things. If you go down through the list and look, even on the defensive side of the ball,
yeah,
it's really impressive what's going on with these rookies this season. You got to love this class. I think some of these DBs, like the guy in Detroit, the guy in all over the place. There's a lot of rookies doing a lot of good things. Addison, of course, over in Minnesota. But CJ Stroud, you got to kind of favor him. And this is what you expect when you get a quarterback out of Ohio State and it falls into those top 3 picks. This is how you want to see them play. And maybe, just maybe, Houston got that lightning in the bottle quarterback. So what about this one, guys? Fox midseason report card gives Max Crosby the Defensive Player of the Year. Max Crosby.
He's having a really good year.
Now, I saw where they had TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, and what's the guy down in Dallas that we like?
Micah Parsons.
Parsons. And they had all their numbers, and they were all similar in tackles, sacks, hurries. And then they showed Max Crosby. He has like 3 times as many tackles as all of those guys.
Yeah, he has 56 tackles, 9.5 sacks.
And TJ was like around 23 tackles. Mike, they were all within the same group. Those 3 guys. But then again, Max Crosby was like, almost 60 tackles. I don't see. I mean, and everything else was, it was close enough with the sacks and the forces. And I don't dispute this. If that's what his numbers are, and these are the true numbers, I'd give Max Crosby the Defensive Player of the Year award too.
I think it's gonna be hard for Watt to get it again because it's looking like the league. I don't know if it's intentional or not. Like with the voters, they're going away from like just having someone run like the way Aaron Donald had went back to back and then missed it a year and then had it the next. I think they're going away from that. It's going to be like there's so many good people here. We're just going to spread the love instead of going. You know what? This guy's just that much more dominant than everyone else. So I think it's gonna be hard for Watt to get a second one.
I do too. And you know what else? I don't want to get into that right now, but I agree, Mike. I agree with 100% with what you're saying. A couple predictions that Fox made, along with, I do want to get back to a couple things the Steeler Freak says here in just a moment. A couple predictions Fox made. They have also the Giants still hasn't scored a touchdown in the first quarter this year. One other side note. Okay, Fox has the Eagles winning the Super Bowl over the Kansas City Chiefs. This is Fox's midseason prediction. What do you think? Same Super Bowl as last year, just switch the results around. The pass interference doesn't get caught this time, maybe, and they win it.
That'd be a boring Super Bowl. I don't want a rematch.
I know. We want to see, just like with the
defense. I want different teams.
We want to see different. We want to see change.
I want to see different, or I want to see, like Kansas City go up against someone else, or the Eagles against someone else. Yeah. I don't want to see a rematch, but I can see it happening, and I think the
very
Eagles
easily.
I think the Eagles might be just slightly the better team this year.
Darby, what do you think about that?
I would be disappointed.
I'd be less
just to
thrilled.
Just to see Mahomes win it or again.
Yeah.
That male model Jalen Hurts to win a Super Bowl.
I would love to see Jalen Hurts win it, but
he's gonna the league is gonna win him one. You watch. Don't get too worried about that, Derpy. I'm sure Jalen Hurts will get his. What else? Let me go over to the board real quick. You're 100% right. I mean, Stroud doesn't have the line or the weapons. They have some, but
like their receivers are like number 2, number 3 receivers,
right?
Just playing better than they.
But if they continue to build this team around him and use him as that nucleus, and you know what, they got potential. And this is something that I think that Houston really has to do, because they've been in positions before where they could have took it to the next level with Watson, and you have Hopkins, and they had a bunch of things over the past so many years. I think it's necessary that they do this now. They keep Stroud as that guy. They build around him. They find the pieces, put them into place, and see how that works for them. Because again, they haven't been that successful since they've been in the league. This might be their best chance with this guy.
Oh God, we're Steeler Freaks therapy.
Oh Jesus.
I feel sorry for you, bro.
Oh, don't say that. Because who's our therapy?
Maybe this is our therapy. This is group therapy for all of us.
I tell you, my therapist hates me. She really hates me.
I know you, so yeah, I can see that.
And I don't know how far I want to get into it, because what if she listens to the show, and I don't want her to hate me even more, but I think she hates me. Maybe just let me think on it. I might.
All right, we'll think on this.
All right. Let's stay in football, guys. We're going to go to the college level this weekend. Mike, the Pitt Panthers, they take on Syracuse at Yankee Stadium. This is a game that I would have loved to go on to. If I would have been able to if I would have been able to go to this game, I'd have really enjoyed myself. I just don't know with everything going on right now in the world around us, and if it's the safest place to go right now, New York City. But this game tomorrow, Mike, Pitt, Syracuse, this might be the last chance Pittsburgh has to win a football game this year. They do have Boston College next week,
Yeah,
but it's something's got to give because they finish up against Duke, and then that's it. So Yankee Stadium might be the place that we get our win, man.
might be. Syracuse isn't that good either. They're
No,
4-5. Haven't
yeah.
They don't have a conference win. Like Pitt, they shown they can pull out a win.
But they use their one upset.
They used their one upset, and is it really if they beat Syracuse? Is that an upset?
No, I know.
So
So I'm saying they potentially have a chance to beat Syracuse and
like,
or Boston College.
like their wins, 14 Louisville, and then they beat Wofford.
Yeah.
So they're due for
Look
a
at
win.
look at Wofford, who's
Wofford,
basically a high school team, and Louisville, who at the time had a very high, they were a high ranked team. There's no
yeah,
in between. There's no
yeah,
happy medium. Pitt can't beat anybody. They can't beat anybody.
yeah.
I,
And that's Louisville's only loss. They beat Notre Dame. They beat Duke, who was ranked at the time.
they beat
So
Notre Dame, who we lost by 51 points to.
yeah, yeah. So that's your Pitt Panthers in a nutshell.
That is your Panthers in a nutshell. I agree. That game is at 3:30 tomorrow. If you want to see a game played at Yankee Stadium, that is going to be the one to watch. Pitt at Yankee Stadium playing Syracuse. Next game on my list, Mike, number 9, Penn State versus number 2, Michigan. Number 9, Penn State, 2, Michigan. If Penn State wins this game, let's say, this has to catapult them up that top 10 list. It really does. Let's say Penn State could beat this Michigan team tomorrow at noon. Penn State's in the middle of the playoff talk.
Yeah, if they're able to pull off this upset, because Michigan, said they're like second.
Yeah.
If we pull this off, that has to vault them because the only loss would be to an Ohio State team, and that was a close game.
Yeah.
But
there was times during the period of that game I thought
I thought we were going to pull it out. I thought we were going to pull it out, but I have no faith in my team. I love them. I love Penn State. But Michigan, we just cannot beat Michigan. Michigan is the hardest team for us to play. I don't care that it's at home. Somehow ESPN has Penn State as a 50.5% chance of winning. I don't see it.
Could be something if they could win that game though.
If they can pull it out, we have people who can do it. We have 2 really good running backs. If they can control the line of scrimmage, control the game.
Well, I'm seeing on the draft board. I mean, people's mock drafts. I already see like 2 guys from Penn State's offensive line popping up in the first round.
Yeah, Ola Fashanu, definitely. He might be the first tackle off the board. I know even on defense, Chop Robinson, he's up there. We have talent. It's just our coach, man. He these big games like this, man, he stumbles against Ohio State, Michigan, and other ranked teams, man. He puts the players in bad position, makes bad calls. If it's like he gets tight and the team feeds off that energy, they get tight. So it's gonna be an interesting game.
I think that's the game of the weekend.
I think it is,
in my opinion. You do have a couple other games where ranked versus ranked. I'm gonna get to them in just a second. But first, let's hop over to Derpy's team, the Ohio State Buckeyes, coming in with a number 3 overall, taking on Michigan State tomorrow at 7:30. Derpy, you got to like this matchup, right? Michigan State.
Yes, but we're actually number 1.
Yinzer number 1?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, they're number 1 in the college football playoff rankings, number 2 or number 3 in the AP 25.
Who's number 1 in the one that they're number 2 in? Is it Georgia?
Yeah, Georgia playoff rankings. It's Ohio State 1, Georgia 2, Michigan 3, Florida State 4.
Okay.
And then in the coaches poll, Georgia's 1, Michigan 2, Ohio State 3.
That's what I have. I have Georgia 1, Michigan 2.
Like the top 4 are the same. It's just in what order and what poll you're looking at.
Yes, they do have a scandal. I have a problem with this, and it's not the same problem that most people have. You know what? Stealing signs, I think, is it's a part of scouting. Yeah. I think you should know what to look for at every aspect of a game when you're getting ready to go into a football game. Yeah. If it's looking across the field and seeing somebody giving a certain sign that tips you off, that's being smart. I don't understand how this is a bad thing.
That's fair game. I don't know if the guy was going into practices, what it was. I know that, oh, he was at this game looking at signs. Okay. I don't care. But as long as
Oh,
you don't go to someone's practice disguised as, a member of the media or something else,
see, that's just
that
weird.
that's fair. To me, that's fair game. Sitting at home, watching
Like
the
them old
games,
Bill
figuring out
Belichick
signs.
memes,
Yeah.
like where they would show him in somebody else's practice
Yeah.
with
As
like
long as
the
it's
janitor's suit.
during the game, I don't care.
You
But
know,
I
you
think
send
they
your
had a guy.
scouts to
Yeah, I
other
think
games. They take a
yeah.
video camera, they videotape every single play. You watch, you study everything they do. What's wrong with studying somebody's sign? I don't
Yeah.
understand why how that's a bad. I think that's smart.
I don't know if this guy ended up getting like sneaking onto people's sidelines and stealing signs that way. That's no, that's crossing the line.
That's
But if you're
extreme. Yeah, that's
that's extreme. But if you're like at a game or you're watching the game, stealing signs, no problem there. But I think there was more to it. I really haven't gotten into it. I just I just like you said, man, I just don't care about sign stealing. Same thing
yeah.
in baseball. Oh, they stole our signs. Okay, change your
Good for
signs if you
them.
notice.
That's
Oh, all the Houston Astros, they cheated. Really? Did they really cheat? No, you noticed they were stealing your signs and you didn't change the signs. That's on you.
right, right.
That's on you. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, baby.
Number two, well, I guess you said number two, Georgia. They are taking on number nine, Old Miss. That game's going to be a good one, two
That's gonna
versus
be a good one.
nine. Also, number five, Washington versus number 18, Utah has potential. And finally, 13, Tennessee versus 14, Missouri. I don't know much about this Missouri team, but I do know when you're that close in statistics or that close in rankings, it should be a good
That
football
should be a
game.
really good game. That Washington team, man, they are just sneaking up, man.
Number
That
five,
Michael,
come on. Who would have thought
yeah,
this?
yeah, like Michael Fenix, man, he's taken himself into. He might be a top five pick this year. This guy like
Yeah, keep
was
your eye
lower
on
in the
him.
draft boards, man. He just keeps playing and playing and playing better and better. Hi.
David Bednar, guys, over in baseball. Bednar is a nominee for the 2023 All MLB team.
I like it.
Vote for
Best closer.
Bednar. He certainly deserves it. The guy gets his, for a team that stinks, he gets his save. So finally, Mike, I do want to talk a little bit about this Pittsburgh Penguin game. I'm going to send it over to you. This Pittsburgh Penguin team, they win 4-3 last night in Los Angeles against the Kings in overtime. Game winning goal by Brian Rust. They
Oh, that's a
complete the
beauty.
California sweep. Mike,
Yes.
go into this game a little bit.
Um, Sidney Crosby once again proved why he is
Said the
still
kid.
one of the greatest players of all time. Even currently, he is still a top five player. That pass he had on, I believe, it was the goal to Gensel, where he was like barely inside the blue line, fires the puck up and over the fenceman's stick, hits right on Gensel's stick, tap in goal. It was a thing of beauty. And then Russ goal in overtime. I believe it was overtime, right?
Mm-hmm.
No. Yeah, overtime. That thing, this is vintage Brian Rust, who would like, this is what he would used to do in game seven. He just took over in overtime. It was a beautiful goal. The team rallied around the backup goalie. It was good to see the way they played. It was like one of their better games of the year. If we go 3-0 on this West Coast trip, sweep California, that gets them back to what, 500? Yeah, back to
And that's
500.
tough to go to California and
Yeah,
sweep.
especially road trips, man. Whew.
Pittsburgh teams generally don't do well in that state,
Yeah.
especially to that degree. Mike, I also see that Christian Jari is now day to day with swelling
Yeah.
around his eye. That the
Yep.
concussion has been rolled out.
Yeah.
So
That's
Mr.
huge.
Injury could be back sooner than we thought.
Yeah, that's huge. Not being a concussion. I saw that later in the day after the show. I saw Josh Yowie reported that, so I was like, that's huge news right there.
Also, Crosby's he's now on a 7-game point streak.
Not bad for like a 35-year-old man.
And this team is going to be, I don't know if they're going to be schizophrenic, just like our Steelers, just like our Pirates.
36.
There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, there's going to be
Mhm.
highs, there's going to be lows. That's just what our Pittsburgh teams are right now. That's just
Yeah.
what we are.
Jeez, Crosby, 7 goals, 7 assists. Not bad. Not bad.
Nobody's in a real good position to win a championship in Pittsburgh, but
No.
you know what? There's it's going to be interesting. Keep an eye on these Penguins and the Penguinis.
Penguinis.
What else? What else? Yeah, ain't that wild? The Giants still, and I know the Steelers don't have the best first quarter numbers ever, but I'm just looking back. The Giants still haven't scored a first quarter touchdown yet.
$40 million quarterback, baby. Uh, could have happened to a better team. Did you guys hear why Chooks apparently was benched?
Kind of, sort of, but fill us in, Mike.
But listen, apparently, because Tomlin said, it's something that he said. That's why he was benched. Apparently, when there was a minute 50 left in the game, he was like, why aren't we just kneeling? Why aren't we just taking a knee? He wanted to quit with a minute 50 left, down by 10.
Oh, what?
Yeah, he wanted to just take a knee and get out of the stadium down by 10. I can see if you're down by 35, 40 points. Yeah, let's take the knee and get the heck out of here. But you have
You're
that
talking about the game
defense.
that we won?
No, this is the game that we lost.
Oh,
against,
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like you had that defense that already had 2 turnovers. If you can go down, get a touchdown, hold them, or do an onside kick, somehow get the ball back, you had a chance to win that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why he got benched.
That's why he got benched. And I don't have a problem with it at all. And I think they were just looking for an excuse to
move on from Chooks and get
Broderick
Jones
in there, and he's going to be cut, man. He has that big salary. He's their highest paid offensive lineman. And he's
Chooks
arguably their worst. Yeah. Like he not bad for a former 4th, 5th round pick to turn into what he did, right. But he's a veteran. He should know better. And I think he even said so too after the fact, and he took his punishment. And credit to him, he's not quitting on the team. He's not being boo-boo about it. He's helping Broderick Jones get ready. He knew he messed up, knew he lost his starting job, and he's handling it the right way. Just had a momentary lapse of judgment. And you know what? It happens to everyone sometimes.
Sometimes it gets you pulled and loses your job. Sometimes you're just a pebble in coach's shoe.
You're just a pebble in a shoe. And you know what? Hey.
Yeah.
I'd rather have George Pickens be a little upset than Chuk saying, hey, let's just quit.
Yeah. Chooks will be gone next year.
Yeah, he will. That salary. So they did have someone disguised on the sideline. That's what it was.
Someone disguised was on another team's sideline. And once you're disguising yourself, that's when
what I thought. Yeah.
That's when it becomes wrong. But you could go and sit in the stands and videotape a game like you do every other time and study the signs and take notes and whatever. I just
Yeah, once you get on the other people's sidelines, that's when it's a bit much.
And that's when it gets weird. Why would you,
Yeah. So Chooks right now is the 4th highest paid Steeler this year, $13 million.
He gone.
Ain't
no way.
Especially
the way I seen Broderick Jones in Washington open that hole for Najee to score last week. Man, they looked just like they did at Georgia. All the footage they showed us coming into the season about the way these two guys could block on, they're looking good. They're looking good, man.
Yeah. Chooks, you gone.
Chooks. Mike, why don't you tell everybody about the website, man?
The Dumyinzers.com. Head on over there for everything Dum Yinzers. Links are over there for all of our socials, merch store, blogs, all up there. The Dumyinzers.com.
All right, go check it out, everybody. www.the2dumyinzers.com. www.the2dumyinzers.com. A lot of cool stuff over there. Mike keeps updated on his blogs, all kind of different things. Go check it out. NFL week is underway. Last night, the Chicago Bears beat the Carolina Panthers 16-3 in a barn burner for a primetime game. But guys, let's jump into this trivia of the week. This is gonna be our last Green Bay Packers trivia of the day or of the week. This is the question of the day, of course. Green Bay Packers, because that is who the Steelers play. Players at home on the board. Mike Derpy, here we go. Now this one is gonna give you answers because you're gonna need answers. Okay.
All right.
Okay. So here we go. What was Vince Lombardi's career record as a Green Bay Packers head coach? Okay, Ooh. Keep that in mind. Now I'm going to give your choices. A, 84-42. B, 77-53-3. C, 98-30-4. Or D, 212 106, and 21. What was Vince Lombardi's career record as a Green Bay Packers head coach? A, 84 and 42. B, 77, 53 and 3. C, 98, 30 and 4. Or D, 212, 106 and 21. Take a minute to think that over, guys. We are live, everybody, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, every day right here between from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. in the show that we do live every day. Every day we upload over on Spotify and podcast form at 8 o'clock p.m. just in case you just have a chance to listen to the show. So every day, the show we do live goes up 8 o'clock p.m. Spotify. Check it out. All right, gentlemen. Question of the day is this: last Packer question of the season. Unless we end up playing them in the Super Bowl. So, yeah. What was Vince Lombardi's career record as Green Bay Packers head coach? Was it A, 84 and 42? Was it B, 77, 53 and 3? Was it C, 98, 30 and 4? Or was it D, 212, 106 and 21? Steeler Freak on the board, he says C. He guesses 98, 30 and 4. Mike, let's go to you next. You think A, B, C, or D is the career of Vince Lombardi as a Green Bay Packers coach?
I'm sorry, I'm going C as well.
Okay. So you're going to go 98, 30, and 4.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you now, is that your final answer?
Final answer.
All right. All right, you're locked into place. Derpy, both of the gentlemen before you had chose C. I will give you the options one more time. What was Vince Lombardi's career record as Green Bay Packers head coach? Was it A, 84 and 42? Was it B, 77, 53 and 3? Was it C, 98, 30 and 4? Or was it D, 212, 106 and 21? What do you think, Derpy?
C.
C. So everybody's going with this 98, 30 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your final answer?
Mm-hmm.
All right. The Mr. Lombardi, the guy that the Super Bowl trophy is named after, Vince Lombardi, his career record as Green Bay's head coach. All the choices I gave you, every single one of you guys said C. You all said 98, 30, and 4. Of course, the answer, guys, is 98, 30, and 4. It was C. Correct, guys. Great job. Good way to finish out the week.
We geniuses, baby.
Swept that shit.
Belch time.
Mike, before we get ready to take off, man, what do you got? Send us into the weekend with something great.
Hey, it's Call of Duty weekend. Kyler Murray will finally be seeing some action this year, baby. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 launches. So in between football, man, get your rounds and start grinding for camos. Get those weapons leveled up.
Speaking of action, over to you, Derpy. What do you got for us for the weekend?
Another week closer to turkey.
That's a very good point.
Turkey Day's coming.
I'm hungry.
Yes, it is. We do want to say thank you to everybody. We want to thank everybody for watching, checking us out, and participating on the board. We appreciate each and every one of you. Each and every one of you, believe me. If it wasn't for you, it's all about you guys. Me, myself, what do I got? Mike, take a little extra time this weekend to find those glasses because you're driving me nuts without them. So that's my thoughts.
I will show up next week in glasses. That will make you feel better.
Anything else? Anything else?
I got nothing. Let's get the weekend started.
You guys,
Let's go.
You guys
Steelers.
feeling good about this Packer game?
No,
No,
not really. I mean, come on now. It's Steelers Packers. It's going to be. People thought like this Bears.
Derpy, you feel good about this?
Was gonna be rough.
I think we're going to win the football game.
I feel good.
I do too. I mean,
all we can do is just watch and cheer them on. And
yeah, I mean, I don't feel great.
I will critique. I'm going to
believe they'll
every
win,
single
right?
play.
Yeah,
I'm going to critique. I'm going to critique every single play.
Yeah.
Like my life depends on it, because that's what fans do now. Every single play is the most important play of the game.
It's
Every play is put under a microscope now. People can't just enjoy a game anymore. So
It's
I'm gonna jump on that bandwagon and criticize every play. I'm gonna break down, have 45-minute film dissertations on one single play.
Steeler Freak says Derpy is looking forward to Thanksgiving dog scraps. I think I think
Dang.
I think that takes us into the
Dang.
weekend for the two Dum
man.
Yinzers, Derpy, myself,
You gotta go back to the panda, Derpy.
everybody, the two
Fair.